Oh, hey. This is That's Wild, the podcast. We're Lauren and Jen, two best friends of over a decade and your girlies behind the mic, here to share the wildest stories history has to offer. Picture an adult bedtime story. Expect crazy twists, questionable humor, plenty of sass, and likely some choice expletives. We're diving into history with a bit of chaos and a whole lot of fun.
Hey.
Woo, we're live.
We're live.
For official first episode.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Jen and I aren't the most tech savvy. And when I say Jen and I really mean Jen.
I'm not even a little bit tech savvy. My 9-year-old is more tech savvy than me.
She started saying stuff earlier. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. She just knew what she was doing. I was like, okay.
That's how I feel when you talk to me about tech stuff.
Well, this is pretty straightforward because what we're doing here is I'm going to tell you an adult bedtime story. And I think it's going to, hopefully our listeners like it.
Yay, I'm excited. I'm ready for it.
I think when I told you what I was going to talk about, you didn't know who this was or what the story was.
Lay it on me.
D.B. Cooper. This is the story.
I feel like I recognize the name, but I don't know the story.
I only knew of him, if you're familiar with the movie Without a Paddle. It's like Matthew Lillard and what's the little redhead guy?
Oh, I know that. I know that movie.
It's a good movie. And Dax Shepard.
Oh,
classic.
Yes. Yeah.
And I recently realized if you watch The Boys, it's the guy who plays Billy. I'm sorry if I'm losing you here. The guy who plays Billy in Without a Paddle is the bad guy in The Boys. What's his name?
I don't watch The Boys. The Boys and Vanderpump. We're going to have a marathon.
Okay, well, The Boys, it's graphic. I don't know how graphic you like.
I heard about a story about an exploding dick, and I kind of signed off right then and there.
That is not to be a spoiler, but that is 100% accurate. Can I tell you what happens?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, close your ears if you don't want it to be spoiled. But in one of the episodes, you're right, one of the people with superpowers gets really small. And we're starting off strong here. He crawls into a penis.
The pee hole?
The pee hole. And legitimately, something happens. His nose gets stuffy. He sneezes. And in his sneeze, he returns back to his normal size.
Whose pee hole?
I think it was like his lover.
He exploded his lover's dick from the inside out.
But then thinking back, I don't think he was too emotionally attached to this person.
Oh, so like a hookup.
Yeah, I think it was a hookup.
All right, well, fuck that hookup.
Also, this person is not like the main character.
I want to be in the writer's room when someone's like, guys, here's the pitch.
Let's talk about crawling into a dick and exploding it. That's
wild television.
And so you're saying you're not into that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I could be convinced, but everyone raves about it. I just haven't gotten on board yet.
And that's just the start of it. There's a lot of it.
My.
This is not the Boys recap podcast, by the way. That's wild.
Okay. Tell me all about D.B. Cooper.
Okay. It's story time. Picture this. It's November 24th, 1971, the day before Thanksgiving. Airports are packed, everyone's either stressed or excited to get home for the holidays, and amidst all that chaos, a man walks into Portland International Airport carrying nothing but a black briefcase. He buys a one-way ticket to Seattle. Shout out to Seattle. Takes
From Portland?
Huh?
From Portland, Oregon?
Yeah. He buys a one-way ticket to Seattle from Portland.
He could have just driven. That's like a 4-hour drive. Sorry. Just being practical.
I mean, you're right, but I think it ties into the story.
Oh, okay. Continue.
He buys a one-way ticket to Seattle, takes a seat on Northwest Orient Flight 305, and within an hour, he has hijacked the plane. This man calls himself Dan Cooper, although today we all know him as D.B. Cooper. And what happens next is one of the most insane and bizarre heists in American history. Cooper pulls off a mid-air ransom deal, parachutes into the wilderness with $200,000 in cash, and completely vanishes. No body, no evidence, no trace.
I did hear about this.
I was going to say, you've heard about this.
I think I heard about this in a skydiving way.
Well, parachuting, skydiving, are they synonymous?
I mean, I think so.
Talk closer to the mic, my love.
I'm here.
I'm here. I'm excited because I think this is a cool story. Apologies for our listeners. I'm a little stuffy. Okay, so for over 50 years, his escape has baffled the FBI and fascinated the public. So buckle up, because we're diving into the mystery, the theories, and the legacy of D.B. Cooper, the man who literally disappeared into thin air.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I'm going to set the scene. Let's rewind. It's 1971, and commercial air travel is a whole different beast. Security screenings, non-existent. Mind you, this is like literally 30 years before 9/11. You could waltz into an airport, buy a ticket with cash, and board a plane with barely a second glance from anyone. It was basically the golden age for skyjackers, and boy, did Cooper take advantage of that. Here's how it went down. Cooper, described as a middle-aged guy in a suit and tie, buys a $20 ticket for Flight 305, again from Portland to Seattle, a short 30-minute hop. That answers our question. Once on board, he takes seat 18C, orders a bourbon and soda, and chills. But then, not long after takeoff, he hands a note to the flight attendant. Now,
Spooky.
I know, right? Anytime a note is passed on an airplane, I'm skeptical.
That's creepy.
I know. Now, she thought it was just another businessman hitting on her, because of course. But when she didn't read it, he leaned in and said, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb."
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
Imagine being seated next to him and be like, "Excuse me, what?"
You can't say bomb. Sorry. That was gross. She opens it, and sure enough, it says he's got explosives in his briefcase. He even shows her the thing. Wires, red sticks, the whole shebang. And
Like he showed her the bomb.
He showed her.
Okay.
I mean, wires and red sticks. I don't...
Sounds bomby to me. I'm nervous.
You're doing great, sweetie. At that moment, this flight just became a heist. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay. You're technically on the back end of your seat, but...
I am theoretically.
How's my posture?
Good.
It could be better.
I'm so into the story, I don't even know.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I have to keep wiping my nose. Okay. So Cooper lays out his demands. $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck ready to refill the plane when they land in Seattle. And if they don't comply, boom. Literally. The flight crew, understandably terrified, alerts the authorities, and the airline agrees to pay up. Meanwhile, the plane just keeps circling over Puget Sound.
Yeah.
Puget Sound. To buy time for the ransom money and parachutes to be gathered. Passengers have no clue what's happening. They're told there's a mechanical issue, so they're just sitting there sipping their complimentary sodas. When the plane lands in Seattle, the FBI delivers Cooper's demands. He lets the passengers go, keeping only the flight crew on board. Then he tells the pilot to take off again, heading south toward Mexico City, flying at 10,000 feet. With the landing gear...
4 parachutes for?
See, that's what is intriguing. Somewhere over southwestern Washington, in the dead of night, Cooper straps on a parachute, grabs the cash, roughly 20 pounds of bills in a canvas bag, and jumps out of the plane. Just like that, he's gone. Okay, so this is basically the fallout of what happens.
I wonder what their cruising altitude was.
Please pause for one moment. Jen's cat is banging
Can you hear
her head on the door.
it? Give me a pillow.
Well, she's coming in, so she might join us.
Give me a meow meow.
All right. The FBI launches what would become one of the longest and most expensive investigations in U.S. history, combing through the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest. They
He didn't
find
kill anyone.
nothing. Huh?
He didn't even kill anyone.
No,
That's
I know.
the biggest manhunt.
But
I'd be like, damn, we got.
we should look up what $200,000 back then equals now.
I mean, a lot, but like
Like $1 million? Is that worth?
why didn't they
hijacking a plane?
fuck up his parachute to like, you're gonna get me? No, I'm gonna get you.
You're gonna get got.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I don't know how to fuck up a parachute, but as somebody with skydiving experience, you probably do.
That would suck if you're like, I got away with it.
And then
No. Just kidding.
dark. Actually, I think I said what I say, 200,000 comparable to $1 million now. I have no idea math. I feel like it's probably like 10 million.
I feel like it's like 500,000.
You're saying
30. How many years ago is this?
30
50
years
years
ago.
ago. 200,000.
200,000.
This is not 30 years ago. It's in the 70s. We are 30 years old.
Okay, sorry, I got confused because I made a 30-year reference.
I know.
And now I'm like, wait, that was 50 years ago.
Yeah, so
Plus.
it's even worse. Now do you think it's...
Listen, math was never my strong suit.
Is there like a calculator for this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on it.
Okay.
Continue, I'll multitask.
Interject. Okay, so again, one of the most expensive investigations in U.S. history, combing through the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest. They find nothing. No parachute, no body, and no trace of Cooper or the money. Well, almost nothing. In 1980, a boy digging near the Columbia River stumbled across $5,800 in decaying bills. So this is 9 years later.
$5,800.
Yeah.
So he just forgot some of his money.
Well, so the serial numbers did match some of Cooper's ransom money, but the discovery only raised more questions.
You're right.
How much?
1.6 mil today.
Okay. I went from
Did
1
you
mil
say that? You said 10.
to 10 million.
Okay, well, I said 500,000.
Which is half of a mil.
Yeah. We're in the family. Okay, continue.
So yeah, it raised more questions. How did the cash end up there? Did Cooper survive the jump? Did he stash the rest of the money somewhere? And then there was the briefcase bomb. Turns out the explosives were likely fake. FBI analysis suspect the device Cooper showed was just a prop to sell the threat. But if that's true, it only makes the mystery wilder. Was he just some guy winging it or a criminal mastermind? That's wild.
That is wild.
So now we're going to talk theories. The most popular one is that Cooper didn't survive the jump. If you think about it, he parachuted into dense forest at night in freezing rain, wearing nothing but a suit and loafers. So experts argue he would have either died on impact or frozen to death shortly after landing.
When is this? What month was it?
It was it happened in November in the Pacific Northwest.
Did they find out? Okay, so DB Cooper.
Yeah.
Did they find out who he was?
That's like part of the mystery.
So they don't know his like address or where his family is from, or that he's like a completely anonymous person.
Yes, because fake name. Because you could buy plane tickets and not have a real identity.
Oh, got you.
Okay, so some people believe that Cooper was a professional and maybe even ex-military. He knew a surprising amount about planes, altitudes, and parachuting, suggesting he might have had training. Others think he was just lucky as hell. And of course, we've got the conspiracy crowd. Theories range from Cooper being an undercover agent to him living out the rest of his days under an alias, sipping margaritas on some tropical beach. Over the years, dozens of suspects have been floated, but none have panned out. Okay.
A real shisty guy, that
Shiesty.
DB. Did you name your dog after him?
No. Cooper. No,
That heist man.
That dog man couldn't get away with jack shit.
Every time he like steals a piece of food off the table, you should be like, "You heisty DB Cooper."
We got DB Cooper on our hands.
We got a little DB streak coming out.
Okay, so what's Cooper's legacy? For one, he changed air travel forever. After his stunt, the FAA introduced stricter security measures, including baggage checks and the now famous Cooper vane, a device that prevents the rear stairs of a plane from being lowered mid-flight. He's also become a folk hero of sorts, an icon of rebellion and audacity. He honestly, I feel like it was
kind of cool.
Jimmy Buffett.
I like him.
Because, like...
Wait, I don't understand Jimmy Buffett.
Well, like Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville, people were theorizing he was just like sipping margaritas on a beach. And I feel like he's just the...
Honestly, I'm rooting for him. I'm on his side.
I mean, he didn't hurt anyone.
He didn't hurt anyone. And like, he made the FBI look like idiots.
Are you for making the...
Am I anti-government?
Careful. So yeah, I mean, you're not alone because if you think about it, he pulled off the perfect heist. He outsmarted the FBI and vanished without a trace. Whether he survived or not, the mystery of DB Cooper has cemented his place as an American legend. And so,
even if he died, the FBI still lost all their money.
This is true. Other than the decaying 5,800 that
true.
9 years later. So what's the takeaway? For me, the DB Cooper story is the ultimate unsolved mystery. It's part crime, part adventure, and just all kinds of wild. Whether he survived the jump or not, Cooper pulled off something so audacious that we're still talking about it decades later.
So you're telling me that some kid found $5,800 in the forest and he didn't keep it? He was just, I would have been like, This is my lucky day.
But, like, what can you do with decaying bills? I don't know.
I don't know.
I watched a movie the other day. What was it called?
Piece them back together.
Den of Thieves. Have you seen it?
Den of Thieves. No, but I feel like I've heard of it.
The only person I can name in it right now, there's other people. Oh, 50 Cent's in it. And Gerard
Is that
Butler.
old?
I think it's within the last 15 years. And they pull off a heist where they literally steal from the Federal Reserve, I think. I might be misremembering, but they, like a money truck. And it's like, it's just a badass heist. And then there's a huge plot twist. I recommend it. It was a good movie. Gerard Butler's like intense in it.
Have you ever heard of the Sky King?
No.
So it's a guy who hijacked a plane out of Seattle, out of SeaTac.
Seattle's got some bad
state with the most serial killers. They're raising crazies out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe D.B. Cooper was from there.
What? He was from Seattle?
I mean,
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Dan Cooper.
Either way.
I mean,
where'd they get the bee from?
I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you.
I'm curious in Wi-Fi. But the Sky King he was a guy in, I want to say like the early 2000s, maybe 90s, but I think more like 2000s. He hijacked a plane. He was an airport worker.
Okay.
And not like a pilot, like an airport worker who had played like simulator video games. And he stole a plane like off the tarmac. Fact check everything I'm saying.
Okay.
But
somebody will.
He, one of our thousands of listeners.
We're going to get there one day, guys.
We're there.
Our listeners consist of me, you.
Our mom said she would listen. But anyway, so he stole a plane and he was talking to air traffic control. It's all, you can find it. I saw it on TikTok.
Literally the audio of it?
Yes, of him talking. And he circles Rainier and just goes for a joyride. And he was like, I'm not a bad guy. I just,
Was this the guy that was dipping? He was...
Yeah, he did barrel rolls in the plane.
Did you send me this?
I probably did. I probably sent you it.
But it's odd because I think Tanner, my husband, was showing me this, and it wasn't you. Yeah.
Yeah, they call him the Sky King.
Okay.
And people were calling in, being an airplane just did a barrel roll over my house, like a commercial airplane.
Because then I don't want to.
Yeah, then
crashed it, right?
They said that he didn't want to crash it and hurt anybody. I believe he crashed it on, I think it's called Whidbey Island.
Okay.
Which is scarcely populated, I believe. I don't know. But he didn't kill anybody. I think he just didn't. I don't think he knew how to land the plane. And I think he knew that when he stole it.
And he was
I think he was a little suicidal, maybe. He was
didn't hurt
really nice on his conversations with the air traffic controller. Were I don't want to hurt anybody. I just wanted to see Rainier and go over to the.
We don't condone stealing airplanes.
No, please don't. But honestly, 2 for 2 seem like decent people.
So Seattle, as you said, most serial killers, but also kind thieves or kind criminals?
Hijackers.
Kind hijackers.
Well, I don't know. I learned everything I knew from a 2-minute TikTok. But
well, everything on TikTok is real.
Yeah, of course. R.I.P. Maybe when this comes out, TikTok will be a thing of the past. I hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, because they're going to ban TikTok?
Yeah.
Who's going to ban it? The government?
I don't know, but I'm moving to Canada for TikTok only.
You're basically there. I ran to get more equipment for this show, and I almost went to Canada. You were so close. I almost took a wrong turn.
Oh, yeah. I literally go to the grocery store in Canada, and I go to the movies in Canada, and I go clothes shopping in Canada.
Well, it's cheaper. The exchange rate is in our favor.
Yeah, it's a Canadian discount. It's 70 cents to the dollar.
That's pretty awesome.
But I'm going to go over there. I'm going to sit on my phone, watch TikTok across the border.
Will it connect?
I don't know.
It's TikTok.ca.
Is it?
I have no idea.
Does the app know where I am? Oh, it probably knows my phone is an American phone. I'm going to get a burner Canadian phone so I can watch TikTok and I will leave it in my car.
I remember you were one of the people who was like, before when I refused to go on TikTok, you were like, you need to go on TikTok. And I was like, no.
TikTok should pay me. I literally tell everyone I know. When people don't have TikToks, I'm like, give me your phone. I'll make you one.
My one girlfriend does not have TikTok and she's a new mom. And I was like, I learned how to parent on TikTok.
You don't understand cultural references if you're not on TikTok.
Or you do 2 weeks later when they're on an
when
Instagram
they're on
reel.
Reels. But like even then, it's wash up. You know what my favorite one is right now?
What?
The Muppet Guy.
I have not heard of the Muppet Guy.
Yes, you have. I've sent you like 15 probably.
I'm like 50 behind on messages from you right now. I need to catch up.
So rude.
I'm so sorry. I know that's like disrespectful. I owe you.
This is my way of showing love. How many TikToks I sent you?
You know, you're not the first person to say that to me when I told them I didn't open a TikTok.
Really?
My friend Darian was like, that's like
my love language.
Yeah. You have to open a TikTok if one of your best friends sends it, and I understand.
If I don't look at my TikToks from James for like a weekend, if I'm like busy or out of town, I'll have 30.
My new favorite.
We're chronically online. This is why I don't watch any of the shows, because now I just watch
the
I'm
TikTok
addicted to short form media.
Which is also
I don't have the attention span for an hour long.
Yeah,
show.
I was gonna say your attention span is shrinking, and also it's not good for the actors and the people of the show, because they're not getting paid for that.
No, I don't even mean like clips of a show. Like, I would rather watch like, you know, under the desk news. Do you know that girl? She's from Rochester.
Shout out New York.
But she like will go under a desk and like tell you the current events in 2 minutes. So like, and she's cool.
Okay,
hell.
I kind of want to listen.
I know. So why am I sitting there watching an hour of CNN
on repeat
when I could just watch under the desk news? 2 minutes, bing bang boom, I'm up to date. By a cool girl who lives in Rochester.
Under
a Rochesterian. Under a desk. And I should
clever. I should make sure to get this across. We're talking about upstate New York. This is not downstate.
I used to say I was from upstate New York, and James reams me out for it because he says that Rochester is Western New York.
I don't know. There's been a lot of arguments about this.
I know.
And for those of you who don't know, James is her husband.
Yes. My husband with
what is he from?
Wrong opinion about Rochester.
Because he's from northern New York.
Northern New York. But like
also close to the Canadian border, but in the center.
Like I've never lived far from Canada my whole life. I actually was so happy. Went to to Canada for a Botox appointment, and the girl there.
I respect that.
She was like, "Where are you from?" We were just like chatting, and I was referencing Buffalo a lot. And she was like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm from like Buffalo, Niagara Falls area." And she was like, "You are?" She was like, "Wow, you sound just like one of us. Like you sound like a Canadian."
Were you honored?
And I was like, "Thank you. I basically am."
And for people outside of New York, there are significant accents. I live so Jen and I don't live in the same town. I live north of Albany, New York, in Saratoga Springs. And I've been told I have like a Western New York accent.
Yeah.
Right now I just have laryngitis sounding voice, but I'm nasally.
Yeah, the nasally.
Dad. I don't say it like that.
There was a little kid in my class named John, and he sat next to me, and I'm Jen, obviously. And my teacher, you would be like, John.
So you didn't know?
And so like interchangeably, him and I always would be like standing up or raising our hands when the other person was called on, and she'd be like, I said John. John.
Anyway, that was our tangent about upstate New York. We hope that you enjoyed this episode of That's Wild.